Captain, if you would, grace us with a log.
Captain's log, USS Navajo, stardate 48875.6. Captain David Perone reporting. The Navajo has arrived at Starbase 621. Admiral Gibson and his staff are conducting a debrief with all senior staff as to what happened with the operation. The Navajo has already handed off the surviving Cardassians and Tolan's friends who are gone to their respective places. The remaining 94 survivors, some who are from the research station, the others from the merchant vessels that have been presumed to have been lost in the Badlands. I, for one, am looking forward to a little downtime, even if I'm sure the debrief will be slightly uncomfortable. End log.
All right, with that, I think we'll go right into it. Vogel, you've been called to the conference room.
That can't be good. All right, I will move in front of the commander and say, Lieutenant Vogel reporting as ordered, sir.
Lieutenant, thank you for coming. Please have a seat, says the commander. And then the lieutenant over here says, Lieutenant, can I get you something to drink? Some tea, macchiato, coffee?
I'm okay, thank you.
She just gives you a nod. It's Lieutenant Sarajevo, correct?
Correct.
I am Commander Julian Reddick, and this is my assistant, Lieutenant Vass. I just have some few questions for you to go over what happened during your last mission.
Of course, sir.
This will be on the record. So as we start here, as he presses a button on his the tablet that's sitting, kind of across from you, next to him. If you could please state your name and rank.
Lieutenant Junior Grade Sarah Vogel, assigned to USS Navajo.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You are the chief helmsman of the Navajo, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And how long have you served aboard the Navajo?
Player time, how much time has passed?
Technically, you've been on board like 10 months-ish.
Been on board the Navajo roughly 10 months.
So when it first launched under Captain Knox, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, this isn't the first time you've served aboard the Navajo, is that correct?
That is correct. During my time at the academy, I spent my training cruise here.
And that was under the previous captain?
Yes, sir.
And your mentor, one who was helping you with your helm training during that time, was that Lieutenant Commander Jark Tolman?
Yes, sir.
Seem a little nervous about that response, Lieutenant.
It's not a pleasant memory, sir.
Pleasant as in recent, or
given what we know, given who he's affiliated with now, sir.
Right, but during your time during your training cruise, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary that during that time, correct?
No, sir. He took the time out of his schedule to train me in some con maneuvers. Maneuvers that were instrumental in some events during my training cruise.
And did you know about his passing during your time at the academy? Well, his supposed passing?
Just passing log, sir.
And what were your feelings when you realized he was alive? I believe you were the one that helped uncover some logs that were left here on board the Navajo.
I would say surprise would be a big part of it, sir. That he would go through such an elaborate ruse just to find a way to join the Maquis.
And you've had no contact with him since at least this past mission, correct?
Correct, sir.
What was your first encounter with Mr. Tolman after the academy?
This is the player trying to think.
The Cardassian vessel during the Badlands mission.
Indirectly, the first time I saw Mr. Tolak was during the mission to the Badlands. He massacred that Cardassian fleet.
You mean the crew on board that Cardassian vessel?
Just trying to make sure I got my facts straight. This was not the fleet exploding, right? This was something else.
This was before that, but it was part of that whole thing.
Okay, I'll say the appropriate one. Something along the lines of him attacking the vessel or whatever.
I believe you, the Navajo managed to rescue the former captain and a few of his crew members, and the ones that survived suffered severe plasma burns as a result. During that time, did the Navajo make any attempt to go after Tolan?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the captain tried to save the survivors, right?
Correct.
Prioritize saving people.
Yep.
At that time, no, sir. The captain felt that it was more prudent to rescue survivors than to chase after Tolan.
And your next encounter with Mr. Tolan was after you went to the Incaran Research Station, is that correct? The medical research outpost where several Messian researchers were at? believe you were chasing a group of Orions. Is that correct?
Sorry, Blair, trying to remember again. Because I don't think I actually went on the away mission with them. I think I stayed on the ship.
Yeah.
That is correct. We went to the research station. However, I remained on the ship in case we needed to get out of that situation quickly.
During while you were following the Orion pirates, which led you to a hidden base station, that is. During that time, were there any unusual subspace trails?
Not that I noticed. Wait a minute. I'm getting details mixed up. Actually, I think there were. Yes, I believe we determined the cause ended up being cloaked vessels.
Are you sure about that?
The player's not. A lot has happened. There were like 4 research stations, and I'm probably mixing them all up.
Yeah, you didn't
I guess.
write a log on it. Write a log on it.
Well, was that the solar ping one, or was that a different one?
That was the subspace ping.
Yeah, I did that because we believe they're cloaked vessels, right?
So you believe that... Who do you believe these cloaked vessels belong to?
I think the initial intelligence pointed at the Orions.
And now?
I haven't seen anything that would contradict that initial assessment.
After following the Orions to their base, you essentially engaged in some combat with the Orions on the outskirts before the away team was ordered to beam aboard. During that time, several Maquis vessels engaged in combat with the Orions as well. Did Captain Perone order any initiate to capture or disable the Maquis vessels during that time?
I believe he was mostly focused on the Orion vessels. They were the immediate threat.
Right, and you were after the missing researchers that you believe the Orions took during that time,
Correct.
along with several cargo.
Yes, sir. We were actively being engaged by the Orion ships.
And after the supposed Orion pirates, their leader, escaped in a D7, ripping part of the station's docking clamp away to escape your tractor beam. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And during that time, afterwards, one Jark Tolan hailed the Navajo shortly after. Am I getting this correct?
I believe so, sir.
Were you present on the bridge when Captain Prone talked with Mr. Tolan?
Yes, sir.
Could you describe to your best recollection, I know it has been some time, of the deal that Captain Perron made with Jarlath Tolan?
From what I understand, sir, it was a alliance of convenience. There seemed to be a shared goal of trying to rescue those researchers. And it had seemed that Tolan had intelligence that would be crucial to finding them.
But Tolan was after something for himself, was he not?
I can't pretend to know what Tolan thinks, sir. Therefore, I will not speak for him.
So the 524 colonists from Serenity Prime that was in the demilitarized zone, Tolan didn't take them with him.
I mean, he was returning them to their colony, sir. At the end of the day, we rescued innocent people.
So Tolan was after the colonists.
If there's anything else he was after, couldn't speak to, sir. But the goal was to rescue our missing people.
During this time, when Mr. Tolan was on board the Navajo for the 12 days that he was, you went back to Lasara Station, and you were part of that away team. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you present when Mr. Tolan attacked Mr. Vedic? Vex. Sorry. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ven.
No, sir. Lieutenant Knox and I were trying to gather intelligence at another part of the station.
I see. So you and Knox went somewhere else. Who was with Mr. Tolan at that time?
Was the captain and I forget. There's one other person I'm forgetting, and I probably should know this.
Solak.
It was the captain and Commander Solak, sir.
I see.
Thanks.
And while Tolan was on board, you didn't have any conversations with him?
None at all, sir.
And he hasn't tried to make contact with you at all since then?
No, sir. Nor would I accept any communication from him.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant. I think we're done here as he hits a button on his laptop. I am sorry if that made you uncomfortable, Lieutenant, but reports are reports.
I understand, sir.
I ask that you keep what we said here confidential. At least outside of anything that, personal related. But you are dismissed. And thank you, Lieutenant, for your honesty.
Vogel will stand and, give the Starfleet salute and then walk out the door. Yeah, after a 2-week hiatus, I'm trying to remember all the events. Like, I wrote logs for everything, but half of them are personal logs.
But you did
Or
quite
rather,
well,
most of them are.
considering.
It was like, what station did that happen on? Cloak Vessels. What's that? This station? This station?
Who am I? What's my character's name?
I
What's the
know,
ship?
right?
Is this the one where I'm the GM or am I the player?
Captain, I'm sure you're probably in your ready room, sort of reading the day to day maintenance reports as things are kind of casual while the Navajo sits kind of in orbit around 621. You are aware that there is an investigation team on board your ship questioning your officers. When you hear a chime at your door.
Enter.
Captain Perone, as Admiral Gibson walks in.
Crone will, out of respect, get up out of his chair. Admiral, welcome to the Navajo.
He takes a seat without asking. Sorry this takes so long, but Starfleet is demanding a explanation for the actions that that took place on board the Navajo during your last mission.
Take your time. I think my actions are easily defendable, and my crew can use the downtime.
Well, considering Mr. Venn has created a hornet's nest within the Cardassian Union and then also our Federation of Liaisons, they're, well, not too pleased at the moment.
And what does Mr. Venn have to complain about?
Well, mainly what happened between him and Tolan. Apparently, I guess Tolan struck a chord with his ego.
Well, that would be a legitimate complaint. I'd be more concerned about the assault he committed against one of Mr. Venn's guards.
I don't think Vin is worried about that too much. I think he's more worried about getting his reputation back in order. Apparently, Tolan humiliated him.
Well, that's one way to look at it. He was certainly was Mr. Venn was certainly more forthcoming with information with a phaser pointed at his head.
I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but Starfleet is, at least certain members within Starfleet Command are worried about moles within among its structure along its crews, especially its exploration vessels. More and more seasoned officers are joining the Maquis or aiding them in some way.
Well, then I can see how my actions would disturb them.
Well, cooperate fully on this. And hopefully they'll be out of your head soon enough, or out of your hair soon enough, and get you back out there.
Well, I hope so. I have no intention to interfere with their investigation. I hope they understand that sometimes you have to make the choice between two different evils. I had a choice. I could lock Mr. Tolan up, or I could save all those colonists. Seemed like an easy decision to me.
Well, let's just hope the rest of the command sees it that way.
Well, they would be foolish not to. I think sometimes the folks in the upper command forget what it's like to sit in the big chair. No offense, of course.
None taken. I need every ship out there, Captain. There's
Well,
some
we'll get this.
there's some unsettling intelligence floating around.
Anything besides a disgraced member of the Orion Syndicate running around with a old Klingon D7 that apparently can fire while cloaked.
No, there's a there's this drug that's starting to make its way into the core worlds. We believe its source is somewhere here in the Rolar sector. Probably has something to do with those Orions that you just recently went after.
Well, I think so. I think that at least some of that had to do with why they had all those captives, either test subjects or something else.
Well, as soon as we get this over with, as soon as I can get you out there and we get this thing situated, or, well, taken care of, this area destabilizes any conflict we have, future conflict we may have with the Dominion, assuming they don't stay on their side of the wormhole. Makes all our efforts here for waste.
Well, I can agree with you on that, Admiral. Any idea what you have next for us when this mess is cleared up? I would like to get after that particular D7, and I owe Mr. Tolan a pair of handcuffs.
Well, for right now, I'm not worried about Mr. Tolan, but I am worried about the D7 and those Orions. As soon as this gets cleared up, I wish you happy hunting.
Well, then let's get this cleared up quickly. I have a lot of hunting to do.
Excuse me, I have papers to push. Good luck, Captain.
Thank you. You have fun with that paper pushing, Admiral.
If only I could find more assistants to do the work for me. So he cracks a smile and heads out the door.
And Perone's going to go back to work, which is good timing because I have a real quick honeydew, so I have to step away from the mic for a minute.
I am going to throw some of you guys into the 10 forward. Let you guys do a little bit of free role play if you like. I'll be right back though. In the meantime.
I'm sorry. Was it something I said, Vogel?
Oh no, I was gonna try to make the illusion that she's by herself,
Mhm.
looking out into space.
Well, I was going to approach you, and Knox just moved everybody in 10 forward.
Don't you love when that happens?
It's just a great, like everybody moves.
It is a weird glitch. I see Forge do this a lot, where when you opened into a
Yeah,
new
you open a new one, you can move
token
every
on the board.
token. Every token moves. It's really annoying.
Well, it's mostly because we could technically control all the tokens.
Yeah, like you can select them.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to move my token because
We
she is hunting Vogel as well right now. She'll
we,
see
we literally
Solon.
are laughing because we've all done the same thing. We've all done it. Like
It's
every time.
adorable. We were about to burst out into musical dance.
I know,
Okay?
like you see them all shift. It's like, one singular
Two.
sensation.
That's right.
Um,
I don't know how to move my token without moving all those others, so I am over there in spirit.
click. This is it. This is what you do. I learned this. Right now at the top left-hand corner, you see that the token select option is selected right next to the click anything else. Like click the little ruler underneath it,
Okay.
and then click
Oh,
back,
that's
and then click
amazing.
back into token selector, and then you're good.
Oh my God. Yes. Because I know where she was at, and I
Yeah.
was waiting for her here. I'll beat Solok to the punch. I'll see him moving in, but I was already on my way in. But I'll gesture for Solok to come over because I know he wants to know.
Solok walks over and says, "Yes, Lieutenant, you were gesturing me to come over here."
Because I thought you were heading in this direction, and you probably wanted to ask Miss Vogel some questions too.
I
She
did
has
not have
a
any intent.
gesture cat look on her face.
I did not have any specific questions to ask you, Lieutenant Vogel, but how is your day going?
Well, this would be depending on whether it's before or after that little interview.
I
This
guess
would
we
be
could say
after
it's
the
after.
interview.
Yeah, just say after.
Well, it's been a trying day already.
Trying in what way?
Let's just say there's a commander asking a few tough questions hanging around.
Interesting. May I sit?
Of course, and she'll gesture toward the chair.
Knox has a look like she was like waiting for you to sit down.
Solak kind of notices you and doesn't quite know what to make of your interest here, but he just moves forward with his next thought and says to her, "What were so difficult about the questions? I assume that you told the truth."
Of course, sir. It's just, I guess, the semi-personal nature of some of them.
Ah, I see. Your friendship, is that the correct word here, with Mr. Tolan before his defection to the Maquis?
She'll just give a look that you nailed it on the nose.
I take it from your expression my observation was my observation was accurate.
Yes.
I'm curious, and please forgive me, it's something I'm not quite understanding. That friendship was some time ago, and things have changed since then. Mr. Tolan's actions and his personality seem different than what they were some time ago. Why would there be a difficulty answering questions about such a subject?
It just, he was very, very foundational in my con training. A lot of the techniques I use and a lot of the maneuvers I use, I learned from him.
A
And
mentor.
yes. And
That is logical.
I don't know, I just have this feeling that now that he's gone to the Maquis, now that he's directly responsible for the lives of the loss of so many lives, it kind of feels that my training is tainted somehow.
I
That
fail. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish
I
your thought.
am tainted. That I am tainted.
I fail to see the logic in that thinking. Your actions
I
are your
I
own.
I, I agree with Mr. Solak here.
I do not wish to dismiss your feelings, Lieutenant. They are your own, though they are foreign to me. I just simply don't understand the logic behind that type of thinking. The commander was someone who taught you a skill. You learned that skill and you applied it. His decisions in his own life are separate from that skill. Did he teach you something different than that?
I know it may seem illogical, and my best friend told me something similar. It's just I guess I'm just having a hard time coming to terms with it.
It's difficult when those that have taught us, we find out they're human or uh, sentient and make mistakes in their judgment.
Or turn out not to be who you thought they were.
That is the most difficult. I have faced something like that myself.
Really? In what way?
I was busted into Starfleet, Mr. Solak.
Busted into Starfleet. I'm not familiar with that phrase.
I was under the age of 18 on Caldos and running with the wrong crowd, want to be criminals, and I was arrested or taken in during a raid, and I ended up in front of a Federation judge who didn't have enough to put me away, but knew I was involved, and the people that I was involved with were involved in a criminal syndicate. And I, well, he gave me a choice: work customs for the port of Caldos and pass the Starfleet exam, or he would find other places to place me. He looked at my records and he knew what my scholastic capacity was, and he didn't want to see that wasted. So I was, in a sense, busted into service.
Do you regret these? Do you regret that this was the outcome of that incident?
No, no, not at all. I'd thank him, and I have actually sent him messages. I think he's very happy with me. We make mistakes when we are young, right?
I wouldn't know.
It wouldn't happen to you or a Vulcan. I know that, but you've probably known some people who's made some mistakes, or heard
All
of them.
sentient life forms make mistakes. It is the definition of a mistake that is often subjective to the culture or to the life form in question.
This is true. She gestures over for the waitress and the waiter or the waitress, whoever's floating around. Scotch on the rocks. None of that synthahol stuff. I'm off duty. But Vogel, you're handling this pretty well.
I'm trying.
Well, I'm certain that the questions that were asked of you were logical, of course, and that the investigation will simply get to the truth. And that as a result of their findings, they will file their report and leave the ship.
Yeah, IA is very active right now. There's a lot going on, with the Maquis. So they're sniffing around lots of places, would be my guess.
And I am scheduled to stand before the commander and answer questions myself within the next few hours.
They haven't scheduled me yet, so I don't know if I'm getting called in.
I would imagine that they will. Your decision in your maneuver to use the phasers to bore a hole into the planet's surface in order to beam us out was quite brilliant.
I thank you, Mr. Solak. That is a compliment coming from you.
Yes, it is.
I don't know how we get out of that place if you hadn't done that, Lieutenant.
Indeed.
It was a little, it just made sense, if I realized, well, the base was causing interference, and I did a scan and I found one of the shafts, and I realized, well, low power shot eliminates interference. Now you can get a signal down.
Indeed. Without you doing that particular act, I calculated that we had less than a 10,425% chance to 1 of being able to survive the incident.
She takes a drink off the scotch. Those are not good odds, sir.
No. But by doing what you did, you substantially increased the odds. I calculated that we had at least a 300 to 1 chance of surviving, and we accomplished that.
Now I know what the odds were. I didn't at that moment. So,
I just hope it was all worth it. Do you know if we got all those colonists off?
we saved who we could, and that's all we can do sometimes, right?
According to the information that we had, we saved the colonists that were noted for being there, but we were unable to save all of the Cardassians from the damaged ship. I
Right.
believe that we beamed over some 84 Cardassians. I'm out of
Well, it's
character. That
better than
number
no
might be
one.
wrong.
It's better than not being able to save anyone, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah.
The needs of the many.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you are familiar with that philosophy.
Oh yeah. One that applies a lot in what we do in terms of the difficult choices.
I found the captain's choices during the adventure to be quite logical.
He's good. He's a really good commander.
Indeed, it was refreshing to see such logic on display.
And he's funny too. So it's a double win for us.
Although I may not have agreed with his insistence on using Tolan, certainly cannot argue with the results.
Well, look, you use the assets that come in front of you, right? And sometimes those are going to be shady people. In my errant youth, was in that world for a bit, so I understand. They can offer quite a bit of information. There's always a cost of some kind.
It
you
is your intention to eventually go into the command track, is it not, Lieutenant Vogel?
I've had thoughts of that, yes.
How would you have gone about things differently if you were in command? You might very well be put in command of this ship at any point.
Lieutenant Knox. Lieutenant Knox.
Aye, this is Knox.
Lieutenant Knox, please report to the conference room.
Aye, my number is up. Okay, I'll see you there. So she'll shoot the scotch, whatever's left of it, and put the shot glass, small glass down. And well, I'm glad I had that before the meeting. And she checks to make sure.
I would recommend that they not smell that on your breath, Lieutenant.
Aye, that's a good idea. I'll stop at a replicator. So yeah, she'll head on there quickly, but stop at a replicator and get like the far future equivalent of Banaka Blast or a Breath Mint.
Banaka Blast. I've forgotten about that.
That's ancient.
It's been a long time since I've seen a Banaka Blast.
Oh man. It's what we used when we had to talk to the girls.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
Spray.
Ah, Lieutenant, please have a seat. Can I get you anything to drink, Lieutenant Knox?
no, I'm okay. Well, maybe a Racticino. Her thought bubble is breath mint plus Racticino. There's no chance they'll smell the scotch.
She walks out of the room for a minute and then comes back with a cup and sets it down for you. Lieutenant Knox, I am Commander Julian Reddick. This is my assistant, Lieutenant Vass.
Aye, nice to meet you.
And kind of stops for a minute, takes a little sniff, then proceeds to press a button on his little tablet. Lieutenant, this conversation will be recorded for prosperity purposes. If you feel the need time to stop this recording or advent of some sort of incident, we will conclude this at a later date. If you could please state your name and rank for the record.
Yes. It's Finley Knox, Lieutenant, USS Navajo, Tactical Officer.
And how long have you served aboard the Navajo, Lieutenant?
I'm pretty new around here. Just a
3 months?
Yeah, about 3 months. Aye.
Your first time encountering Jar Tolan was during this mission, is that correct?
Aye, yes.
During your chase with the Orion pirates, the Navajo encounters some unusual subspace fields. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the ship initiated essentially a subspace ping to try
Yes,
to detect the vessels.
Aye, yes, we did.
Do you believe these vessels were cloaked?
I believe the records will show we were concerned about cloaked vessels in the area.
But you didn't detect any ships, is that correct?
In that particular circumstances, I believe the ping did not pick anything up. But I'd refer you to my logs.
Understood. Were you part of the away team at the Orion base, Lieutenant?
Yes. Yes, I was.
And is that where you first encountered Mr. Tolman?
That sounds about correct.
In your own words, can you describe your first impressions of Mr. Tolman and potentially what he might have been after at that moment?
He's shadier than the devil in the garden. Old Caldo saying. I didn't trust him. That might have been that he had a history on this ship, and well, it just didn't seem like where he was at now was shed any that was a negative.
So you were, to your best knowledge, you couldn't possibly tell what he would be after at the Orion outpost during that time.
No, you can't guess that kind of stuff, but I tried to keep my eye on him.
Were you present on the bridge when Captain Perron accepted the offer between Jark Tolan and Captain Perron? The deal that the two made.
I believe that is correct, yes.
And what are your thoughts on the matter?
You're in the field. You know, I think he made the right call.
So you feel that both of your missions aligned and it was best to work together?
I think that the captain felt that he would be able to provide information information that would be helpful to the overall goals of the mission.
And
But I could sense that there was a lot of mistrust.
sense or no?
Towards Tolan.
Was that before or after his attack on Mr. Venn?
I think it was before. If I am remembering correctly, the crew had a definitive impression of him, as somebody who's left Starfleet, so to speak.
At any point in time, did the captain make any reference on attempting to apprehend Jar Tolan?
I think he would have apprehended him if given the right opportunity.
We had plenty of opportunity.
But we needed information that he had. We wanted to. There was a lot at play at the moment.
Well, what about after you rescued the colonists? Could you not have easily apprehended him then? According to reports, he was locked up in his guest quarters with the replicator unplugged. According to Mr. Solik. According to the chief engineer's reports.
I vaguely remember hearing something to that effect. Yes. I do not know what his status was. At that point.
Well, you are the head of security on board the ship, are you not?
I'm the tactical officer. My job is to deal with physical threats to the ship itself. and I was involved heavily in the rescue operation.
He looks through assorted pads and hands one over. Are you familiar with this Starfleet intelligence report?
Let me take a look at it.
FY, it was the one you looked up.
Oh, okay. Let me just glance back at that. Hold on a second. You're referring to the last report that I got.
A classified Starfleet intelligence report from a Lieutenant Commander Tarvel
Yes.
from Starfleet Intelligence. You were the one that brought this report to the captain's attention, are you not?
Yes. I found this and brought it to his attention.
How did you get your hands along this report?
I believe I searched through databases.
Lieutenant, this report is classified.
Well,
Your
that's
rank
what
would not be able to even get a hold of this report.
No. Out of character, GM, I am trying to strike because it was 2 weeks ago.
You got the report from a friend who you did favors for.
Oh, yes. Well, it was a back channel kind of thing, but it was very helpful to the situation, and I believe led to the saving of quite a few people. And I own that. I used a back channel.
Are you in habit of using back channels to get classified material? As far as I'm concerned,
No.
Lieutenant, this is a breach of security.
No, not really. I don't usually use those kind of back channels. But I felt the situation warranted using whatever was necessary that could lead to the recovery of the colonists. But I'll agree with you, I showed a lack of judgment on that. I'll work on it.
You were not part of the landing party during the rescue mission, is that correct?
I was on the bridge.
In fact, the captain gives you high praise for coming with a plan to rescue everyone that you could.
Yes, it was a difficult situation, and I, after a few scans, came up with the idea of using the phasers to clear channels in one of the columns running into the base. Yeah. And then that way we could get down there and get a lock.
And you dropped the remaining, colonists from Serenity Prime on Atora 4. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Atora 3. Yeah, it's a GM mistake.
You are correct.
And at that point, Captain Prone lets Tolan go.
You mean during the rescue? I wasn't.
I'm referring to after the rescue.
After the rescue.
The rescue mission was over with, which took you several days to get to the drop-off location that Mr. Tolan asked you of, and then after you dropped him off, you proceeded to 621. Is that correct?
Yes, that sounds correct.
And at that point, Captain Prone did not attempt to apprehend Mr. Tolan?
That sounds correct. But again, I was involved with dealing with the survivors.
I believe that's all for now, Lieutenant. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
As you leave, you notice she starts sort of whispering in his ear, and they start having a slight conversation.
It's IA types. That's her thought bubble. Suspicion is their world.
All right, is there anything you guys wish to do?
I'll head back to 10 forward because I know they're going to want to hear. If they're still there. I'll head in and grab my seat if Solok and Vogel are still there.
Volok and Vogel? Or Vogel and Solok, are you guys still in 10
Solok
forward?
and
Blah, blah, blah.
yep, exactly. It would only be
I'm here.
Volok if there was a horrible transporter accident, like whatever that was, Tuvok's problem.
Solok asks, how was the questioning?
I hate internal affairs.
But were you able to answer their questions efficiently and effectively?
I think so. I tried.
Well, I see no reason why there should be so much anxiety on this ship over this line of questioning. I definitely do observe that there is, he looks around the room, I do observe that there is quite a bit of trepidation regarding this inquiry that is happening.
IA is like the fox cruising around the hen house, right? They're always sniffing around. And they're real agitated right now because of, well, the whole Maquis situation, right? They never know who might be an ally. They're losing people to the Maquis. I don't know how many, but I think that's what the tension is.
I would assume that their agitation comes from the fact that Mr. Tolan was not apprehended at the conclusion of our mission.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I fail to understand the logic in that. The captain and Mr. Tolan clearly had an arrangement that was made, and without that arrangement, we would not have been able to complete our mission.
Exactly. That's kind of what I said, but you know.
And yet, despite saying this, you saw that the questioners were agitated or irritated by that logical understanding of the situation.
No, I think what it is they're trying to make sure that, that deal doesn't indicate that there are Maquis sympathizers aboard the ship.
Their suspicion is that there are Maquis sympathizers on board the ship and it could potentially compromise the Federation's mission.
Aye, that's my guess.
I see. Interesting.
That would
It is.
explain some of the line of questions they asked me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of said, "Hey, we were on a mission. We did what we had to do to achieve it." Not in that exact set of words, but
I'm not aware of any Vulcans that have violated their Federation or Starfleet oaths and have joined the Maquis. Based upon my understanding, a majority of those that have defected have been human. That is not to suggest that there is some sort of flaw or defect with human nature, but it is interesting that humans seem to feel the need to rebel against authority and
this is
join.
true. Yes, you have come upon an aspect of human nature. But I won't be surprised if eventually a Vulcan decides that it is logical to join the Maquis.
I would not say that that would never happen, but circumstances would have to be rather extreme for a Vulcan to
Yeah,
do such a thing.
agreed. I definitely agree with that. But
But such extremes have been known to happen before. My own
right,
mother, for existence.
your own mother.
Yes, my own mother dissuaded and distanced herself from the teachings of Vulcan philosophy and left Vulcan after she was banished.
Wow, I've heard of Vulcans who have left the you know the colon R, and but you had a family member who did that. That's pretty wild.
Yes, a rather well known and prominent family member. She's considered one of the greatest inventors in the history of Vulcan.
That's pretty wild. Sorek's teachings are very interesting. I've studied some of your martial arts. I find it quite interesting.
Thank you. I have not studied Vulcan martial combat myself, but it is rather intricate and very precise. But
More than that, it's very well thought out. I've wherever possible, I've gotten training in it.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to apologize, Lieutenant. I may have said something that might get you in trouble. I
Me?
to
know
which lieutenant are you referring to?
uh, sorry, Lieutenant Knox.
Oh, okay. What's that?
I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but they know about the case of brandy you gave Tolan.
Oh, well, okay. That was they never asked about it, so I don't care. I'll stand by that one.
This was a result of an agreement that you made with Mr. Tolan?
This was an attempt to make sure that he would be amiable to working with the captain on the situation.
A
Man,
bribe, so to speak.
More of a grease the wheel. And that's Intel procedure. I mean, Intel people do that kind of stuff all the time.
A gesture of good faith.
Yes.
Ah, I see.
And one I really didn't want to make, but considering the reputation that he seemed to have. But it seemed like he was going to be an asset to the mission and our ability to help people out.
He
So
was
no,
an
no.
asset to the mission.
I'll look over. Who is this guy? What's his name?
Smith.
Smith.
Smith. Okay.
He's just a random token, so
Okay. Okay.
he guarded his quarters. We'll put that.
No worries, Mr. Smith. If they have any questions about that, they can ask me about it.
Yeah, that assistant of his, she's got those eyes. Something creepy about her.
There's some defect with her eyes.
Well, she's Betazoid, and they're just the blackest eyes I've ever seen.
Interesting.
Sorry.
A
Sorry to
Beta
interrupt.
Z IA-er. I didn't know she was Beta Z. Oh wow, that's wild. But that's what you'd send in. I'll gesture for the bartender. Scotch. None of the synthahol. I'm off duty, so, and I'm out of that IA meeting. Yeah, Smith. I'm not worried about it. I've had IA sniff me before, so I ain't too worried.
Oh, have a good one, Lieutenant. Commander, Lieutenant.
Mr. Smith?
And he just takes a seat.
Do you find anything about this questioning or this inquiry troubling, Mr. Vogel?
It's almost like they're looking for something.
What would they be looking for?
That I haven't the faintest idea.
It would be logical for them to interview the captain as well, though his logs, I would assume, would provide them all the information they need. I have provided my engineering logs and other corroborative information that I gave them, including my personal logs.
Well, there may be a lot of pressure from above over this whole Maquis situation to hold as many, anybody, accountable. Because this doesn't make Starfleet look good. That we have people who are leaving and joining a faction that's entered a rebellion.
It also does not make the Cardassians look particularly good either, but
No.
it is a complicated situation that can only be best described as volatile and fluid.
Yep. It's a good way to put it. Speaking of fluid, she'll take her drink off the waiter or the waitress's tray. To fluid. She'll take a shot.
My race was spared the dubious effects of alcohol.
I am very careful about how much I ingest, but it is a cultural thing for my world.
Lieutenant Commander Solok, please report to the conference room.
Acknowledged. Please
Your
excuse me.
turn. Have fun.
Fun. I do
Oh.
not think so.
Well, have a logical time then.
Thank you. And he leaves.
Commander, please have a seat.
Commander, Lieutenant, Solok gives the Vulcan salute, and he sits down.
The lieutenant speaks up. Commander, would you care for something to drink? Tea, Wakajino?
Homemade tea, please.
She goes out, comes back in, sets a...
While she's out and doing that, Solok just observes the commander, just his mannerisms, the way that he's looking, the way that he's breathing, etc.
Give me Insight Command, difficulty 2.
And call T2. Go ahead and take a threat.
Should have gave myself the appropriate threat because it's a low threat game, so it's half the normal. So,
Got
it. As you kind of gauge like him, you can tell he's very stoic's not the proper word, but he's very composed.
Mhm.
He hides a lot of his like mannerisms. You have a hard
Mhm.
time telling whether or not he has even a poker face,
Mm.
so to speak.
Is it the kind of thing that a Vulcan would be impressed with in terms of how humans hide their emotions, or is this
Yeah.
just okay?
She returns back with your tea, sets it down.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
You're quite welcome. Lieutenant Commander Solak, I am Commander Julian Reddick. This is my assistant, Lieutenant
I am
Vass.
actually a full commander.
My apologies, Commander. That being said, I'm going to be asking you some questions about your recent mission and a few other lines of questioning. Do you consent to this?
I consent.
He presses a button on his pad. For record keeping, could you please state your full name and rank, please? For the
Solak,
record.
Solak, son of Teles, Commander, Chief Engineer, USS Navajo.
Thank you, Commander. You have served on board the Navajo since its launch from Earth Space Dock. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Under its original captain, Captain Knox?
That is correct.
How long have you known Captain Perone?
Since his assignment here, I have known him as commanding officer. Prior to that, I knew him based upon reputation. We did meet once at Starfleet Command sometime about 3 to 4 years ago. It was a brief encounter. I was introduced to him by Captain Taylor.
I see. Is Captain Taylor a mutual friend?
Captain Taylor is a commanding officer that served with another chief engineer that I knew. I knew that chief engineer. He introduced me to Taylor. Taylor introduced me to Captain Perot.
I see. So a friend of a friend of a friend.
Precisely.
Before I get into the line of questioning about your recent mission, I just want to go over something that I found a little peculiar. On Stardate 48576.7, you were recently at DS9 during that time to pick up some supplies. During that time, you've encountered what appeared to be a Vulcan woman that you later filed a security report stating that she was in danger. You need to believe this woman
That is correct.
to be your mother?
Yes. I believe that there is sufficient evidence to suggest that she is indeed Teles.
Did she deny this?
She did.
And you never heard from her at all since then?
No, I have not heard from her.
And he pulls up a pad. It looks like a security view from DS9. Is this the woman in question?
Solak looks at it and says, yes, that looks to be the woman in question.
Did she go by another name?
She did. Though I believe that name to be completely false.
Did you ever hear back from your security inquiry?
The security inquiry was deemed insufficient. They were not able to locate her current location. The inquiry into where she was going also led to a dead end. At present, I have no idea where she is. Only speculation and rumor.
And you attempted no further contact with this woman?
I have not been able to attempt contact with her since I do not know where she is.
I see. Going based off the recent mission aboard with the Navajo, You were aboard the Kara Research Medical Lab way team. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you describe what you saw there during the research station?
The research station was populated with several Orion guards. They were hostile. They attacked us. They were imprisoning several humans and other species.
I'm sorry, Commander. I
I'm
think
sorry.
you were mistaken here. I'm referring
sorry.
to the
This is a
Incaran
different one?
outpost. The medical
Which one was
research
this?
the medical research station, the one where you found the clues that led to go after the Orions.
Oh my God, I've totally forgotten all of that. I've totally forgotten all that. This wasn't the one where we shot the changeling, was it?
No.
Okay, so this is later than that. I'll just say yes, I remember that. And he describes the facility and everything in it.
Was that the first installation from, or first? During your investigation, did the station crew mention that they were attacked by a cloaked vessel?
Yes, a Klingon D7 vessel, to be precise. A vessel that apparently can fire while cloaked. We believe it to be commanded by the Orion. I guess the term I'm looking for is fugitive that we were trying to apprehend.
I mean, Pirate Queen is proclaimed. He says, according to these
Certainly.
logs.
That is according to how she refers to herself. A criminal is probably the more accurate term.
During your before you went after the Orion Pirate Outpost station, you believed you were being followed by there was a sense of subspace disturbances. You believed you were being followed by cloaked ships?
Yes, that was the consensus at the time, based upon the knowledge and the information that we had.
But no vessels were ever found.
No, they were cloaked, of course.
And then were you part of the away team that went to the Orion Outpost?
I was.
Not the first time, not the second time. Or were you on both away teams?
Was I on both away teams? Out of character? I think I was on the second. I wasn't on the first. I think. So Solak says that.
I see. Were you present on the bridge when Captain Perone made the deal with Jark Tolan?
Out of character, I believe he was in engineering at the time. So that's what he says. He says, I was not present on the bridge, but I was in engineering and I was informed.
I see. You were present on the away team at Lasara Station, is that correct?
That is correct.
And during that time, when you went to confront Mr. Vin about this Pirate Queen's potential location, were you present for Jarlath Tolan's little display?
Yes, I was. His rather unorthodox tactics were crude and abrasive, but they did result in useful information.
Can you elaborate on that?
He describes what he saw, the way Tolan basically put the gun to the guy's head, how Tolan dealt with the whole situation, and how he was observing it the whole time, essentially not wanting to interrupt it because in the end, it made somewhat logical sense for that type of behavior to happen in that kind of environment, though it would not be the type of behavior that a Vulcan would engage in.
Was Captain Perone displeased with Tolan's actions?
I cannot make judgments on how the captain felt about Mr. Tolan, but Based
Sure.
upon how the captain operates and how he commands, I think it would be logical to assume that he was not happy, nor did he condone the actions of Mr. Tolan.
And during Mr. Tolan's stay on board on board the Navajo, he had no access to any section aboard the ship other than his quarters and locations while under armed guard.
That is correct.
Were you the one that unplugged his replicator?
I was. The concern was he would use the replicator device as a way to potentially escape or damage the ship. Plus, Mr. Tolan's knowledge of the ship was always an asset for him. He knew this ship better than any other Maquis individual.
I would assume so, considering he served on this vessel for 8 years prior to the crew rotation.
And out of character, Solak did serve with him, correct? He would have served with him during that time, right?
Did you serve on the Navajo under the previous captain? Not Knox, but the other captain.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, the first player captain I did.
Yeah, no. Okay, then no.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But he's been with the ship since its inception, or he's been involved with the ship since its inception. So that's why I was asking.
Well, there was a crew rotation, which is where Knox took over. This is GM talk here. The Navajo was commissioned in 2362, and that was under a different captain, where Tolan was there from an ensign until lieutenant commander, until his perceived death.
And then I came on here 8 years ago, right?
You came on here like 10 months ago.
10 months ago. Okay, I thought we had established that he had been with the ship since the beginning. Sorry.
Oh, it's your character. However you want to.
I like the idea of him being associated with the ship in the very beginning, like he was part of the crew that did the shakedown for the ship, let's say. Part of the engineering crew that did the shakedown, and then there was the crew transfer, so maybe during that particular time there was overlap and he met Tolan at that time. And that's it. I think we can just say that. And then he went off and was assigned somewhere else, and now he's back with the Navajo.
Oh, you do have on there Assistant Chief Engineer Navajo. So
Yeah.
So you probably would have came in. You actually would have been present for Tolan's sort of death thing, fake death.
Yeah, so he'd be there for that. So we can say that he was there for that, and that he served with Tolan then.
So you were part of the crew. Were you part of the crew that during that time was you before you were serving under Captain Knox and Captain Perone? You served on board the Navajo under Captain Rene Marius. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was the assistant chief engineer.
During that time, there was a supposed shuttle crash. Were you part of the investigating team?
I was looking through the wreckage specifically to determine if there was a malfunction within the shuttlecraft.
And I believe it was ruled that during that shuttle crash, Lieutenant Commander Jarek Tolan's body was ejected from the shuttle and fell into a ravine. Is that correct?
That was what the official report said at the time, yes.
Was there anything out of place during that shuttle crash?
Other than the fact that the shuttle crashed itself, not that I'm aware of.
Do you mean it crashed itself?
well, clearly there was no malfunction with the shuttlecraft, and that it was all a ploy, a ruse on the part of Toland to fake his death so that he may join the Maquis.
This you now know is at this point, but during that time, did you believe that it was intendedly crashed?
I can't say for certain whether I thought that was the case, but I did see that it was odd that there was no malfunction with the actual craft. Toland's knowledge and his skill piloting the craft was well known. I found him to be a very capable officer. So, yes, it was odd that something like that would happen, and that the investigation simply didn't point to any one specific thing. I was convinced that we were going to find some sort of malfunction with the craft itself. When we found nothing, it did pique my curiosity.
No environmental hazards.
Not that I'm aware of. The diagnostic report that we filed should be available to you.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that. Thank you, Commander. Now, you were on the away mission with Tolan, is that correct?
That is correct.
During that time, did you see anything out of the ordinary?
Describe what you mean by out of the ordinary. Do you mean with his behavior?
Yes. Clearly, you've
Nothing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Clearly, you've served with Mr. Tolan for a little bit.
That is true. If you're referring to his behavior, I found some of his tactics to be crude and illogical, but they were effective considering he is no longer a Federation officer, but in essence, a criminal and as he refers to, a freedom fighter. I found him to be changed from when he served in Starfleet, but that was to be expected. And I found him to be effective when we were there on the station, trying to rescue the hostages.
Has Mr. Tolan ever attempted to make contact with you prior or after your knowledge of him joining the Maquis?
No, he has not.
Are you aware of Captain Peron's recent marriage to a Lady Morana of House Morvek?
I am aware of it, though I have not discussed the subject with the captain or with others. I see that as the captain's personal business. I congratulate him on his marriage, and I wish them long life and prosperity together.
Are you aware that the captain became aware that he was married to her up until recently?
No, I was not aware of that. Though, that would make things interesting from the part of the captain to be married to someone he did not know he was married to.
Has Lady Morana come aboard this vessel at any point in time?
Out of character, I don't believe she has. Is that correct?
You can say whatever
Did we
you
ever
want.
have her on board? Yeah. I do not believe so, no.
Thank you, Commander. You've been most helpful. I hissed about another thing. Need to remind you, Commander, please do not speak about any of the line of question here today. And with that, you are dismissed.
Thank you, Commander. Lieutenant, he stands up, gives the Vulcan salute, and walks away.
Any free bit of roleplay you guys wish to do?
I'm still hanging out with I'm still hanging out in 10 forward. So
I'm good. I don't think Solok's going to talk about what he discussed here with anybody. He's probably going to just go back to engineering at this point. And he's going to talk to somebody because at some point we need to change. Why do we have Enterprise vessels in our conference room? We need to change that. He's been asking for that
I
to be
only have
changed.
one map
months.
for that, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, it's also that there's a Starfleet interior designer who just uses that wall style in a lot of different ships.
For every conference room. It just
because it's got a bunch
Because-
of ships on it. That's all you
Yes,
need.
it's all module, so
it's all module.
they make a whole bunch of wall panels, and they all go on the same ships.
They all go with the same ships.
There's light changes in like the door colors or some other stuff. So there's clearly like a committee that goes, okay, we'll change the colors. But nobody has said, yeah, we're going to change the ships on the wall.
And they'll always leave off the NX class vessel.
Right.
Always leave those off.
Captain
Exactly.
Pro,
Sorry.
could you please report to the conference room?
I can, but is there difficulty with meeting in my office?
Sir, it would be easier this way. If you
I
don't mind.
see. Well, then I'll be there shortly. Ron will make his way to the conference room.
Slowly, as he checks the dust on the bridge and all the consoles.
He might not be that obvious about it, but he's not going to get in a hurry. In his mind, he's thinking, I got some nerve summoning me on my own ship.
Are you using your new microphone, by the way?
Yes.
It is fantastic. I'd forgotten that you got a new microphone.
Captain, thank you.
Ron will come in and just have a seat without being invited. Is this an official investigation, Commander?
Just a routine inquiry. Let's ask you, Captain, can I get you something to drink?
No, but under the Articles of the Federation, during an official investigation or inquiry, I'll have to ask your Betazoid assistant to leave the room.
May I ask why, sir?
Because I have the right to be protected against unlawful searches, which telepathic scans are unlawful searches. Betazoids cannot help it. It is part of their nature. Therefore, I ask that she be dismissed.
In truth, she's an empath. But, Lieutenant, if you please leave the room. She gives a nod and walks out. Satisfied, Captain?
Yes, thank you. You may begin your inquiry, Commander.
As you're well aware, sir, this is a formal inquiry. Everything will be on the record. Is that okay?
Yes.
presses a button on his little computer tablet thingy. If you could please state your name and rank.
Captain David Perone, Commanding Officer, USS Navajo.
Thank you, Captain. And you've been captain of the Navajo for roughly, 8 months now?
That is approximately correct. I took command of the Navajo on Stardate 48324.6.
That's when the Navajo went into the Badlands, is that correct?
Well, that was our first assignment after I took command, yes.
You were searching for the USS Voyager and the Equinox. Is that correct?
That is.
During your time in the Badlands, you picked up a distress call from a Carnassian vessel. Is that correct?
That is correct. It is in my logs.
And that was your first encounter with Jarg Tolan. Is that correct?
Yes. I understand he was an officer aboard this vessel before I took command, but that was my first encounter with Mr. Tolan.
And you've had no contact with Mr. Tolan up until your recent engagement. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, Captain, I'm going to ask you a personal question here, if you don't mind. You were recently found out that you were married. Is that correct?
It is, though I fail to see the relevance of my marital status to this investigation.
That woman in question is Lady Morana. Is that correct?
That is the name of my spouse, yes.
And she belongs to House Morvek?
Yes.
When was the last contact you had with your wife?
I have not had an opportunity to speak with her since Stardate 48576.7.
I find that a little peculiar. Are you aware of House Morvek's business dealings, Captain?
I am not. As far as I know, House Mork is a honorable house. Lady Morana's ship was due to go on a pilgrimage into a very difficult area of space. I have not been able to make contact with her since she left.
He pulls out a pad. Shows a photo of your wife and another individual. This is your wife, is that correct?
It is. Does Perone recognize the other individual?
Give me an insight plus con or command difficulty of 1.
I'll give you a threat just so I can activate bold. But I won't have to use it.
Gain 2 momentum. You are aware of the individual. The other individual, his name is Ethan Black, a member of the Maquis. Are you aware of the other individual, Captain?
If I remember correctly, that is a known Maquis sympathizer named Ethan Black. Was not aware that Lady Morana had dealings with him.
The records show that Captain David Perone successfully identified Lady Morana dealing with Ethan Black, a known Maquis sympathizer. So you are not aware of your wife's dealings with Mr. Black?
That's correct.
and you have not had any contact with since prior to Stardate 48576.7.
I have not. I have made several attempts to contact her, and I've made several inquiries through House Morvec and through standard diplomatic channels with Klingon Defense Force. None of those attempted contacts have borne fruit as of yet.
So, far to your recollection, you're only married to her by her word? There is no official marriage license filed under the Klingon Empire nor the Federation.
That may be possible. Lady Morena and I have a child together, however. I believe under Klingon tradition, that makes us a mated pair.
I see. Have you verified that the child is yours?
Do you mean did I ask him for a blood sample on the day I met him? I did not.
That satisfies the question. You recently made a deal with former Lieutenant Commander Jarek Tolan, now a member of a Maquis cell operating in this region. Could you describe the nature of that deal you made with him?
I made an agreement with him to gain his assistance and him to gain mine in locating and rescuing a large number of civilians that had been kidnapped and held captive by an Orion pirate.
These civilians.
In exchange, I agreed that I would not attempt to take him into custody during the course of our mission or for 24 hours after its end.
And that ended when you dropped off the civilians at the agreed upon point with Mr. Tolan?
That is correct. And Mr. Tolan quite wisely disappeared quickly.
Do you know what happened to those colonists, Captain?
I imagine that they were moved to a world that was safer for them than they were where they were. They went willingly with Mr. Tolan. They were offered an opportunity for resettlement within the Federation. The majority of them refused my offer.
You and Commander Solak, along with Mr. Tolan, were on Losara Station on a away team also composing of Lieutenant Knox and Lieutenant Junior Grade Saravollo. Is that correct?
Yes.
During the
This will
incident,
go quicker. This will go more quickly if you only ask questions that you do not already know the answer to.
for record keeping, sir, with all due respect, I do have to answer all questions fully with every individual to make sure that I get the full picture of what happened.
The answers to most of your questions are in my log, Commander.
I'm aware of that, sir. But needless to say, I have a job to do. Now,
I am
can
merely suggesting a way that you might do it more efficiently, as my chief of engineering might say.
Your chief engineer was quite forthcoming with several information, Captain. Needless to say, sir, can we continue?
Oh, yes. Please continue with your inefficient manner of inquiry.
You were present when Mr. Tolan struck. the Valerian merchant known as Ven?
I was there when he struck one of Mr. Ven's guards, appropriated that guard's disruptor, stunned his partner, and then pointed the disruptor at Mr. Ven.
At no point, Mr. Tolan did not strike Mr. Ven.
He did place his hands on Mr. Ven, yes.
Place his hands as in restrained him or belligerently assaulted him.
His actions were unnecessarily aggressive.
I would ask you answer the question, Captain. Did Jarek Tolan assaulted the Valerian merchant Ven?
He did assault him.
Could you describe the assault?
Okay, now the players had. Didn't he just shove Ven?
Yeah.
Mr. Tolan used the hand not holding the disruptor to shove Mr. Ven in a backwards manner, thus assaulting him.
He did not strike him, did not bruise him, shoot him, beat him to an inch of his life.
He did not shoot Mr. Ven. He did threaten him with a disruptor. He did shove him with his non-phasered hand, but he did not beat the man. Had he attempted to do so, I would have stopped him.
Why didn't you stop him before he had a chance to go after Mr. Ven?
Well, Mr. Tolan had disabled Mr. Ven's immediate guards. It was just a couple of Starfleet officers in that bar. We were vastly outnumbered. Would have put myself and Mr. Solak in unnecessarily put ourselves in danger.
So you believed yourself to be in hostile territory?
I'd use the word unfriendly.
During Mr. Tolan's inquiries, according to your logs, Mr. Ven was not very forthcoming. Did Mr. Ven act like he was afraid of something? Or someone?
Yes, he was. Mr. Ven did appear intimidated by somebody and was not answering my questions. I was prepared to leave, and Mr. Tolan took action.
Do you believe Mr. Tolan forced Ven's hand on revealing certain information?
Yes. Phaser being threatened with a disruptor is efficient, if morally questionable, means of obtaining information.
At what point did you retrieve the disruptor from Mr. Tolan?
When we returned to my ship.
Given Mr. Tolan's actions at Losar Station, you allowed him to beam down and enjoy the away team during the assault on the Orion facility, the former Cardassian Obsidian Order base. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you believe Mr. Tolan would have been useful there?
He was quite useful. Even when I made the decision to include him, one, it was part of the agreement, and two, Mr. Tolan knew those people. Having him along to confirm to some of those people that we were there for them was necessary.
And you've had no prior contact after your arranged agreement with Mr. Tolan, is that correct?
That's correct. If I had contact with Mr. Tolan 24 hours past that agreement, he would be in Starfleet custody at this time.
Thank you for the clarifications, Captain. And you have no contact with Mr. Ethan Black, is that correct?
I have not.
I think this will be enough for today, Captain. I thank you for your time out of your busy schedule for conducting this interview. Turns off the recording. I do apologize for this, Captain. I hope you don't take offense.
You have a job to do, Commander. But like many captains, I'm a little peculiar about being summoned on my own ship.
As you can see, Captain, I have a lot of stuff here. And I do thank you for letting me use your conference room to conduct these interviews. It's makes it a bit more convenient for me. But I'll remember that for the future.
Thank you. How much longer do you anticipate this inquiry to go on? I have an Orion pirate to hunt down.
Well, that's not up to me to decide, but my report will be filed within the next 12 hours.
I understand. Oh, and Commander, just in case I have other members of the crew that aren't as aware of their rights as Federation citizens as I am, I would ask that you respect their rights and leave your Betazoid assistant out of other inquiries as well.
And what would you say if she also conducted some of these interviews herself, Captain?
I believe without a waiver, unless they waive their rights, it would be inappropriate. Or
Captain,
she firmly commits to not using information that she obtains through her abilities. I understand those are not possible for a Beta Z to turn off, but anything she learns through them would be a violation of the rights of my crew members. I would react poorly if the rights of my crew were violated. Are we clear, Commander?
We're clear.
Very well. You have a good day, sir.
You as well, Captain.
Rowan will pause just long enough to make it clear that he is not being dismissed, and then he will leave.
He never said you were dismissed, so he just says you're done. So
I guess he will channel a little of his inner Kirk after all.
well, Lieutenant, I think we're done here for today. I'm surprised he's the first to notice that I'm a betazoid. Well, it's a good thing you're not even an empath. If there's anything else, is there any other roleplay you guys wish to do?
I don't know. I was down in 10 forward. I was hanging out with Vogel. So,
Ooh, will the captain show up in 10 forward?
yeah, totally. He's got to show up. Nox will summon him.
Perone will throw him out an airlock.
What's your special talent? Summon the captain.
Would the captain summon us?
Yeah, that's how it usually really goes.
Well, yeah, that's a question I actually wanted to ask. Would the captain summon us now after all of this stuff?
No, because it really would be inappropriate for him to ask members of the crew what the commander asked him.
Yeah,
Actually, at this point, the captain is probably going back to his ready room to see what he can learn, what else he can learn about Ethan Black and his wife's house.
Yeah. I think Solak would just go back, and I don't think there's anything more that he would want to talk about with this. He would just go back to engineering and start prepping the ship for the next mission. Because I don't think there was there was no correlation between the line of questioning and his mother, so I don't really know if he has any other leads to go on with that.
After that little bit of interrogation from the commander, the captain may start looking for back channels of his own within the Klingon Empire.
Yeah. Ethan Black, is he in charge of the Maquis? Is that what we've established here? Like, who is he again?
Besides having a really cool name.
I mean, it's a fantastic name.
Just screams bad guy.
Or CD, rogue.
Yeah.
Or could just be a setup for the future. Who knows?
Who knows?
He as the GM knows who Ethan Black is.
Good for you.
True.
The rest of us have to, figure this out.
But as the player, no idea.
If there's really nothing else, I think we could call that the end of the session.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's probably makes sense.